What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining. Here we are. Damn, look at that. We got Grind, Shannon. We got a lot of people from the school here, some of the teachers, some of the students. Got a lot of the subs already in. It's going to be a crazy night, guys. So welcome to the first ever collab with the Team Building School featuring Classy and his teachers and some of his students are here to help you guys build your teams. I'm not going to be doing too much talking, guys. What's going on, Eli? What's up, everybody else? We're going to go ahead and drive this conversation through Classy and the teachers. So what the plan here is, guys, is if you are higher up in the food chain in terms of your power and you want to just focus on strictly your nine-man team, feel free to post that on here. Somebody from the school who is here to help you will at you and help you adjust your team somehow. If you want a full roster / box help, including a team, you'll have to join the Discord, the Team Building School. Request a role that is a client role, and then you can get help from the guys. So first thing I want to say before we start is check out the description. The description actually does have the Team Building School's Discord. You can go ahead and apply to that now. Jump on there, request a role, and we can start. With that being said, we're just starting off here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and ask Classy to do some introductions. So Classy, thank you for joining. Thank you for doing this. Feel free to introduce yourself, as many already know you, and what your Team Building School is about and the folks who are going to be helping out tonight.
Hi, Payne, and everybody who's watching. Thank you guys for having me here once again in this collab. And as mentioned before, the idea of the Team Building School is to kind of be a mock school, but it's definitely not as serious as like your real life schools that give you grades and such. The idea is to promote a community where you learn about building teams and how like analyzing units in Ninja Tribes, which is a really important skill for all game modes, and pretty much like the majority of what makes Tribes such a good game is the team building and the units. So the Team Building School was something I created a few months ago, just with a few students in the beginning. Many of those students are now staff, which are basically just teachers and moderators of the server. And every week we'll have like a schedule of some homework and some tests as well. But again, you don't need to be too pressured about these. It's definitely optional. And our policy for grading is very kind, where we don't ever demote you down a tier. You can only go up. And there aren't really any sort of number or letter grades, so it's definitely much more chill than like a regular school setting. But at the same time, we do want people to learn, so that's why we've implemented some grading systems. And feel free to try some of the activities out if you want to. We're always coming up with new things to do. Like I know some of the staff have just created a new activity yesterday, so we're definitely trying out new things and new ways to help the community learn about team building.
Awesome. And it's guys, it's one of the things where this help is bar none the best help you're going to get in the game. Like team building essentially is what Tribes is about. So Classy, can you tell us in terms of like some of your students, are we talking about any power levels? Are we talking about people who are high up? Like is there a specific requirement for someone to join, or is it anybody can come join? And what are the rigorous things that a student has to go through to become a teacher or somebody who is moves up to the team building team?
Yeah, see, that's one of the interesting things about the school. I really try to keep it inclusive, so there really is no limits on what you need to be in order to join the school. Like a lot of the students here are actually not that high power, but they have more knowledge than like a lot of whales I've seen. So that's just something we take pride in at the school, just making sure everybody is welcome. And of course, there are like rules and enforcements, so make sure to act like as well as you can in the server, of course, just like a regular school. And the way you move up is basically we have a bunch of staff that will grade your assignments, and then once you fulfill a certain set of criteria, which are listed, I believe, in a document, like having experience in PvE, PvP is like one of the requirements that will help you move up the tiers. And once you move up to the senior level and graduate, you'll have the opportunity to join the staff, or you can proceed to do whatever you want afterwards.
Perfect. And Jacob just asked here right now the question I literally asked you: is the team building school Discord open to everybody? So to answer that question, yes, guys, it is definitely it is open to everybody who wants to apply. As Classy said, there are tests, there are things to make you actually think about team building. It's not just here's your team, be on your way, and you come back a week later and you ask again, hey guys, I got a new unit, where do I put this? So it's definitely a place where you're going to be tested with your knowledge, so a place where you can learn. But as he said, you know what, school comes first. This is about a game, but at the same time, a lot of people do take this game seriously, and it is one of the best things you guys can do is study your characters and study how this works. I've said this before about tribes, and I mean, Classy, you can probably attest to this because you play so many games out there. A lot of games like gacha games are considered checkers. It's a very straightforward linear path. With tribes, I honestly feel like you're playing chess all the time because all the new units coming out with different moves and the different content that you have to use different units in. And I have to say it's one of the only games where old units still play such a massive role in a game filled full of power creep characters. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so guys, honestly, people who are asking like, what do I do with my team? This is the time to do it. You guys can either ask us here on the live chat about your team, but if you want to go like about your whole roster and your box, again, please jump onto the description. It is the first Discord link. It is a team building school. Anybody can join. Jump on there. Definitely apply to the role to be a client, and people will give you a hand. And if you want to take this a little more seriously, definitely jump on there and try to apply as a student. Do the homework. Advance up in your tribe's career as a team builder, which I think is a phenomenal idea, and move on up. So, Classy, out of your let's say exams, right? Because that's technically or quizzes that you give out. Can you remember one of the hardest ones or one that a lot of people have problems with?
Yeah. Every once in a while, we'll try to get boxes that are intentionally difficult, and boxes are basically just screenshots of someone's units on a page. And by difficult, I mean not including a lot of the high tier units like Psy. Like a lot nowadays, since everyone's using him and everybody has him, it really does challenge people to try to build a team without him, just because you have to consider not having all that extra chakra. And for example, if you don't have Kakashi, you have to make a team that doesn't include him, and having those rarer boxes with less of the best units will challenge people. And in the future, we're definitely thinking of creating assignments where we're only allowing the students to use some of the lower tier units, like the ones that have never really been considered before. But it's still important to think about using them in the team because they're still units and they help you learn the game, even if you don't actually use them like in your game.
Right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about that. So you mentioned not having Sai in your team or Kakashi, which now is becoming less and less prevalent, obviously, because new players joining in, they have the ability to re-roll and get URs, which we didn't have in the past because we had to spend Shino coins. Now with the guaranteed UR, a lot of people are going straight for Kakashi. A lot of people are zooming through to get Sai because they understand how to do it. We didn't know in the past. So give us an example of a team or a character that you think is underrated and that people have not been utilizing enough, and that you guys in the team building school should think, or you think that should have a little bit more of a limelight on them. It could be anything. It could be a rare, it could be an SR. Let's even do that. Let's talk about a rare SR and a UR. Give us a couple examples of characters that you guys personally think the community should focus on a little more than they already are, or are not.
For PvP or anything?
Let's start with PvP. Let's talk about Arena, because that's where a lot of the newer players have access to Shino coins, right? In the beginning, new players can't really do much with PvE because it's so, the end level stuff requires a lot more power. So let's talk about PvP first. Let's talk about Arena. Forget NWT, it's a little bit different, but let's talk about strictly Arena for now.
All right, so one UR that I've always been hyping up ever since he came out really is Hidan. Like, I don't know why people don't use him that much. Maybe they don't have his frags or something, but in a meta where everyone's using like status effects and stunts and stuff, having someone who can reduce that is definitely useful, and he's unique because he can do that, and there are not many other units that can do that like him. And he nukes pretty hard too.
Okay, let's talk about an SR. Any SRs here that people should be focusing on?
Well, there's a few actually, but well, recently Toby moved up the tier list, but we've kind of discovered as a community that he's definitely getting better all around in all game modes. So I definitely recommend using Toby. Also, like Tigara and Kid Kakashi, like some of these T support units are actually pretty good to use and kind of underrated. Because everyone is just using the high tier units and just putting them into one team without really trying to build a team around a certain theme or a certain mechanic.
Right.
So,
right. So have you guys in the team building school embellished on debuffs versus buffs? Like, what do you guys look? Do you guys prefer a balance, or do you guys like to focus on more buffing versus debuffing? Is there something that you guys, when you guys do build teams, kind of eye before that, or are you guys looking for like a synchronization of balance in your team building?
That's the interesting thing, because we're trying to promote uniqueness for every student. Like, everyone here has their own philosophy for team building, and that's something we kind of embrace here, because I don't think there really is one correct way to do it. As long as you're like logically building your team and still putting the units in the optimal positions based around whatever theme you're going for, it's definitely still a really valuable team to use, even if it's not just throwing the best units into one category. Like, for example, like me, Static, and Binato did like an experiment where we all kind of built a team from the same units, and we kind of had different approaches, but that doesn't mean any of the teams were necessarily wrong. I mean, we kind of just all have our own approach to building a team, and I'm sure all the teams will work.
Absolutely. And that's the one thing I want to talk to a lot of people about team building. Like, I used to team build a lot. I still do on my own Discord. Obviously, being super busy now, I don't have as much time, but the knowledge I've passed on to a lot of players has evolved, right? Like you said, everyone has different taste, everyone has different abilities, and the learning curve is huge depending on who you are. And just like a math equation, there are many ways to get to an answer, especially a complicated math equation, right? But you have to follow the steps. There are always certain things that you can do to adjust those steps and get to the proper results. But ideally, there's always something about team building that you should technically follow, and then you just kind of put the pieces in place. Because I mean, there are a lot of people out there that do like damage debuffs, or do like DRR down or DIR down, and you can put a slew number of them together. But I mean, things like rarity, type, speed, the percentages obviously matter. Their LB2s versus their regular trait. So it's understanding your characters that I always tell people, like, if you want to learn to team build, first and foremost, know the characters you have and understand them like the back of your hand. That usually does help. But that's kind of what your school's about, though, Classy, right? You guys are promoting learning the game before getting a team build by somebody who's a professional.
Yeah, it's about personal growth for each student.
Right. So, I don't want to put this limelight on you, and you don't have to answer this at all, but is there a star student out there that you want to give a shout out to? Is there a teacher that goes above and beyond? And again, no, this is nothing personal to anybody who you don't shout out to, and you don't have to do this at all. I figured this is the time to give somebody a shout out if you want to.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even if it's possible, I'd actually like some of the staff and students to talk about their experiences, because I can't speak for them about how they feel about things.
Absolutely.
But recently, one of the teachers who's kind of been with me since the beginning, but he's also been in your Discord, of course, is Slim. Like, he doesn't really talk that much in the public, like when we're doing collabs or anything, but he is the one doing a lot of the material and providing a lot of the work that the students are supposed to be working on, as well as doing grading. So definitely a hardworking teacher, and someone who's also been a star student, who's basically risen through the ranks really quickly, as I'm sure you've noticed as well.
That's why he's a team builder in my Discord. That's why I upped him, and yeah, Slim. So I've given Slim shout outs in my own podcast, right, with you guys, and you guys know this, and we've said nothing but good things to say about Slim. Slim's also taken the opportunity to advance the spreadsheet, so absolutely, Slim deserves a ton of credit. And I'm happy to see him rise in the ranks as he deserves. He is a fast learner. So you learn from myself, learn from AJ, and learning from you. So Slim, if you want to talk, bro, this is the time to do it. This is the time to take a little bit of limelight. And no, I'm not doing an Oniki showcase right now, just so we get that out of the way right now.
he doesn't seem to be here
Oh, he's
right
not
now.
on. Oh, I thought he was
He might be
on. Okay.
busy.
Okay,
Yeah,
no
it's
problem.
unfortunate.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So Slim, we know he's part of my Discord. Next time we do something like this, we'll definitely invite him on here to talk. He might be doing his own schoolwork. So, okay, let's move on. Anybody else?
I mean, I basically shout out every single staff, but some of them are here, so I'll give them the opportunity to speak as well. I don't really want to take too much time, but basically all the staff in the school currently are A, star students, and B, people who have definitely worked and contributed a lot to the server. So,
All right, who wants to start?
Yeah,
So do me a favor, guys. If you want to talk, please unmute yourself and then introduce yourself. Give a little bit of knowledge of who you are, your in-game name, your server, your alliance, and what you do in the team building school and what you love about doing here. While I'm doing that, guys, I'm going to switch the screen real quick over to the Discord. Classy, once we're done, we'll talk about your Discord and what it's all about. But yeah, anybody who wants to switch over, now is the time to do it.
Yeah, so we have 2 staff and 3 senior students here right now, I think. So, staff, if any of you want to speak, it's your opportunity to. Like, I know Static's here. He's trying to start his own tribe's YouTube. So I'm going to put you on the spot. And Obi, you're next on the spot, too.
Static is very shy about talking.
He really isn't, though. He talks to us all the time.
That's okay. It's a little different when you're talking with viewers versus talking in your own comfort zone. So don't worry about it. If you don't feel like talking, no pressure on you. If you want to, though, like I said, this is the time to do it, guys.
Well, Flying Raijin, RoKage, joining in the team building. I've been here since December 13th, I believe. And I've shot up the ranks in about 3.5 months. And yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with the math and the percentages and the buff/debuff synergy of units. And my guild hates me for it.
And you know what you're talking about because you're also in my Discord as a member. So and I know you know your stuff. So I'm glad you're here as well too. And it's crazy seeing the Classy, seeing all the crosses between my membership Discord and your guys here. I was surprised to see how many members were actually in this. Now it kind of makes sense where they're coming with their knowledge. Of course, learning from our Discord and learning from yours. So it's really nice to see Shannon here. Flying Raijin, of course, that's who you are in the game. But I know you're saying Minato Triple S. You actually believe that? Because I know you're a simp.
Oh, okay. So yes, I am a simp. However, I believe that he is the hardest hitting T nuker in the game. I know Mitsuki is quote catching up to that and might surpass him. However, for pure capabilities for the cell and for just T's and generals for nuking D units, I don't really think, even though right when he came out, he was you know how we felt when he first came out.
Yeah.
But no. I was like one of the only ones to say, no, he's still great, guys. He's still at the very top of the list. So SSS back in the day, maybe not. Maybe that final spot, just tinkering into SS and right into SSS. But yes, I believe so.
Okay. And his limit break too obviously pushed him a little bit above because that ridiculous percentage to the cell for a DIR is pretty wild. It's funny you mentioned Mitsuki, but you didn't mention Boruto. I think Boruto's actually a harder hitter than Mitsuki any day for a T unit.
I know, but Boruto, he's more of a support unit instead of a offensive nuking unit. So, and especially with his tribes are more defensive in nature. And I feel for PvP, if you want to nuke and you want team buffs for the cell, specifically, you're going to probably want to put Minato with Santa, maybe. So I feel like the buffs there is just a bit more than what Boruto could provide, potentially.
Okay, interesting comment. By the way, guys, I'm not being involved in any of the team building here. This is strictly the team building school and their logic. I obviously have my own methods of doing it, and you guys can catch me on my own Discord, but this is more about the team building. So absolutely great points, Shannon, Flying Rajan, aka I'm shouting out both your names at this point. So absolutely great points there. And so how are you finding it? Are you finding this to be the most helpful Discord for team building? How does it compare to your own Alliance Discord, and versus how does it compare to the main Discord?
Okay, so when I started about 12 days left of the Boruto banner, right? I originally had a server 4 account. I started like 3 days after the game officially launched. And I was like, oh, wow, this is trash. And then I stopped, and then I heard a rumor Minato was coming for Christmas, so I started back up in Thanksgiving. And yeah, I got obsessed with building units. I eventually joined the #1 guild in my server. I joined their Discord, and then that led me to join the main Cord. And then I think it was Static that first helped me with my first team. And after that, like before I joined, like I watched every single one of your and Classy's videos. So I kind of devoured every single bit of team building knowledge that was available, and I just kind of took off from there. Awesome. And so when I first did my first team build, Classy actually called me a prodigy and invited me himself.
So Classy actually invited you. That's awesome. And he's got a good eye for talent. So
can't confirm.
I can't confirm. Good.
Yeah, we. But can,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you know, when you were talking about Minato, like this is kind of like what we're trying to develop in the students, like being able to argue for their own opinions, and being able to support that evidence from the game, like making that kind of intellectual conversation about the game. That's kind of what we're trying to promote here. So it's a pretty good example of what you can expect.
Absolutely, and it's the right way. It's the right way to go, right? So with Flying Rajan's opinion there, like we talked about earlier, right? It's a math equation. Many ways to get to the right solution. It doesn't always have to be the same path as everybody else. So absolutely, it's a very good point.
The biggest thing I think I like about Minato more than, for instance, you mentioned Boruto, is Minato has double cell boosts, and they're higher, and they're for every kind of unit, not just a specific unit.
Yeah, so let's actually go ahead and look at the two characters since we're talking about them, right? So I'll look at mine and we'll look at Minato. So we'll start off with Minato here. If a lot of people don't have Minato and you don't know what he's about, here is an example of what his skills are offered. So his Flying Raijin skill, as you can see, that is his name, hence the simp, lowers one enemy's damage reduction rate by 23%. Now this, guys, I want to keep in mind, is only during the that actual turn. It's not for the entire battle. It's not for 2 turns, 3 turns. It's just literally he does it before he does his jutsu, and it stays on there until that entire cell is done. He deals the power creep numbers, of course, to a single target, deals 29% extra damage when attacking first, so that is similar to Boruto's, and also boosts his own damage increase rate by 12% for the rest of the battle. Now, that does stack, so this actually makes him insanely powerful in longer battles. He eventually starts putting up insane numbers, so that there is probably the biggest difference, including with the damage reduction rate down. So that's one skill. If you compare that to Boruto, and this is what we're talking about, this is what Shannon means about him being more of a defensive hybrid type. So Boruto Stream does the same kind of idea. He doesn't reduce damage reduction rate, but he does boost all allies' damage increase rate. So he does boost your entire team's DIR, which is a massive amount of 13%, and he boosts all allies' damage reduction rate, making you survive longer. So there's the hybrid that we talked about. In my showcase, I talk about it as well too. So absolutely, in terms of nuking, I find that Minato is definitely a better T nuke. My comparison was more between the Mitsuki and himself. Mitsuki's more of a debuffer, while Boruto is a buffer. So 2 different units doing 2 different things, both T units between Mitsuki and Boruto, both fantastic. So thank you for sharing that, Shannon. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Sorry, Klaus,
Obi, you want to go? She's from my server, also like one of the original students, and now got promoted to staff.
Oh, hi, I'm Obito's from Server 16, and as Classy said, I'm part of his alliance, so shout out to them. And when I was a student here, I remember doing some of the assignments, and I got really good feedback, so that really helped me become a better team builder in that aspect. And I also use like what I learned from the school to help some of my alliance members. And yeah.
So are your alliance members joining your Obitos? Like, are they also part of the school, or are you passing enough knowledge for them to absorb and kind of just learn on their own? How are you finding the knowledge? Are people easy to learn, or do you recommend them joining just the school and actually going through the curriculum?
I would honestly recommend going through the school because it makes it much more easier to grasp the concepts.
Okay.
I can agree with that.
And so there's another agreement. Good. So for the students who have moved up, let's talk a little bit about your history. So Obitos, we'll start with you, obviously, here. When you were a student, what was the hardest thing to grasp about team building? Like, what was the one thing that you remember being like, damn, I need to put more work into this, versus what was the easiest thing to grasp? Do you remember any of that?
I would say the hardest thing to grasp would to be like making FG teams, because I would be like really confused on how to make those. And I guess the easiest thing for me would, and another hard thing would be like what order to keep which units in.
Okay.
An easy thing for me would be probably making Abyss team, since I know pretty much most of the strats.
Okay. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good answers. Yeah, FG is a tough one. FG, even the top end players are currently having a hard time beating FG M2 due to the difficulty curve and the fact that there's just way too much HP to deal with. But I agree with you. FG right now is the toughest content in Ninja Tribe, so I do not blame you for saying that at all. With that being said, Classy, if you don't mind, if anyone else wants to speak up, feel free to do so. I'm going to actually test you guys myself. So I'm going to go, if you guys can see my screen, if you're on the live Discord, if you're on the live YouTube channel right now, I have a team. You guys know all my units probably by now, but from watching the videos, if you do watch my videos. But I have a team here that I use for Arena, and I want you guys to kind of critique it for me, okay? And let me know what you guys think about my team building in terms of my Arena team and how you can improve it. And if you guys want me to go into the roster, I can do so. So this is, again, there's no critique from my end. I'm just going to listen to you guys, and I'm going to say yes. You guys have to give me the explanation of why. And if you guys do like my team, what about it do you like? Why do you think I set it up the way I did? Are you cool with that, Classy?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, perfect. So everybody who's watching this right now, so here's my Arena team. Okay, so this is my Arena team. So I will show you the different variations that I've been using for my Arena team. So I either have KCM here for fun, which I was just testing around with. My usual unit in here will be Itachi, or would be Naruto here. So I usually use Itachi though, just for the buffs. But right now I'm putting KCM in. So for the folks who are going to be critiquing this, look at this right now. Explain to me what you see from Force, Spirit, and Energy. I don't care who it is from the team building team. Let me know what you would change, and explain to me why you make the change, and let's talk about that. So anybody can start. Classy, you can even start yourself if you want. Unless you guys see this as a perfect team, then let me know, and we'll move on to the next person.
Yeah. Well, Static is someone I haven't really shouted out yet, and also hasn't got the opportunity to speak. So I'll just introduce him real quick, and I'll let him do his thing here. Basically, what the community has dubbed him as is a mini version of me. Is, I guess, pretty accurate. So basically, one of the prodigies, similar to Raijin, goes through the school really quickly and graduated fast. And I still remember him asking for help himself, and now he's all the way here, basically serving as like the main team builder for main cord and such. So pretty cool to see. And this is your opportunity right here to help Payne with his team one.
Thank you, Classy. Please excuse my weird voice. I really like the comp you went with Payne. The only thing I'd change personally is Kid Sasuke before CM2, just because CM2's buff is on his trait is passive if you're attacking first, while Kid Sasuke does have the boosting all ally attack on his jutsu.
My man, thank you. I actually did that on purpose to see if anybody would have caught that. So I'm glad you did. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Okay, that's exactly it there. So thank you for doing that, Static. That's why you're here where you are. And Classy, great job on that one. So yeah, keep going. If you have anything else, please let me know. That was actually set up purposely for you guys to find that catch. That's exactly it. So for those who don't know why, I'm going to explain it again. CM2's skill 4 is a buff that everybody gets as long as the cell is faster than the opponent's. Sasuke's jutsu actually increases attack, so it would make more sense to have the active jutsu go off first, so then the rest of the units would get the attack, while Sasuke's is already a passive trait that happens as long as you're quicker. So great catch, good job, that's what I wanted to hear.
I was shaking just staring at the TV and just like, I want to say something. I want to say something.
Good job, guys. That's exactly it. And that little bit of a minute detail is exactly how team builders think, right? And this is how you get the maximum out of every single unit and every single team. And that does matter. That can push you over the edge from resetting 100 times to resetting only twice in an FG, or getting that slim win in an arena just because you have a little bit more attack power over a tank team or a team that can take a lot of hits, or even a team with a lot of status effect rates. Status effect suppression. So great catch there, Static. Anything else?
I actually do have some formation suggestions.
Sure.
Because of something that I'm actually using in my own kind of thing.
Okay.
So, what I find works very well for my arena, even though I'm not you, I am currently the 10th fastest person in my server. So, I'm not the whale, but I'm able to keep everyone away from the whales, so to speak.
Okay.
So, I find that in my spirit, because Santa and Puppet can turn to Jutsu, having them with Kieran, who has the passive cell buffs, attack buffs, and the DRR for when Santa eventually nukes, like he will, it helps a lot with damage and just wiping an entire cell. I have never had a cell going against this unit when it has all 3 jutsus to live.
Yep, agreed. So
out of like 50, 60 arena matches, I've never had someone live against all 3 jutsus.
Right. So
not even the whales that I fight.
So with that being said, Shannon, so when I originally told you I use Itachi here instead of KCM, because KCM is just a tester right now, just to see how he does. Mm-hmm. So this is my original cell. Mm-hmm. So what do you think of this original cell? Because that's what I normally run. Would you still put Kieran on top where Itachi is, or would you maintain this the way it is?
Give me a second. The TV's like 10, 15 sure. seconds behind what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're currently hovering over Itachi now. So I'm assuming you keep it like this?
This is my normal arena team, yes. If I want to go with what I normally run without KCM, this is what it normally looks like. So what do you think, Kieran versus Itachi? What's the difference between them? Why would you pick one over the other?
Well, see, Itachi is like Boruto was. Itachi is a hybrid unit. He is, we would all consider a top 3 unit in the game because of his multifaceted buffs. Okay. He gives both offense and defense to, in his passive, the cell, and his jutsu, every single person in the cell team for 3 turns. I would have to bring up the thingy because I don't currently have my game open.
That's okay.
All right, let me click out of my ATB because 30 minutes till that.
So I'll explain to you guys my logic why I have Itachi here versus Kieran. So I'm just going to quickly, guys, give you my take on it. So the reason why I have Itachi there, first off, is because Santa Naruto already provides the DRR down with his jutsu. So having Kieran on there, you're going to double that. So you don't really need the double debuffs there because Sasori already does insane damage after Rinne. Obviously, the Confuse there with Sasori gives the rest of the debuffs applied. Nobody ever really survives this attack, ever. I've never seen anyone ever survive these 3. And the reason why Itachi's there also is because I want the survivability for Rinne specifically. So his skill 2, when it pops, does guard rate up. His limit break 2 gives the attack up and the crit up, so obviously gives more damage to the units and gives more protection with his trait. So that's why my Itachi is currently there over my Kieran. Plus, I don't need a stun in that cell, so I like my Spirit to have 3 stuns. My 4th cell essentially is a wipe cell. Nobody really survives it ever. So that's my reasoning behind it. So I want to hear the reasoning behind Kieran versus Itachi, and just if you would make that change even.
So with me, I'm kind of the opposite because Spirit has the DIR. I like it to be my nuke cell. So my current team. Let me just go ahead and click into that. However, I am a very different player because I'm fighting against whales. I'm not the fastest person in my server, even close. I tend to prioritize defense over offense.
Okay.
Because I'm not fast, so the people that have to live. So I am more of a proponent of putting Itachi and say right now my team is Mei, Datara, and Kikagashi, and then my spirit is Kirin, Santa, Puppet, and then my energy is Sai, Itachi, and Kid Naruto. Because I'm not a super fast, I prioritize protecting my Sai above pretty much anything else, because Sai dies, you pretty much lost the fight.
Good points. And Kid Naruto there is good for that for sure. That's what he's there is to protect those units. So absolutely.
And and depending on how the thing goes, usually I'll get either energy first, or I'll get spirits. Energy, spirit, and then force. So usually Datara will hit his things before my spirit cell, so I don't have to worry about it. Right. So he will give them the crit, so nothing will live. Right. But that's just me. I prioritize defense over offense because I'm not the fastest person in my server. If I was, then yeah, I would most likely do what you did and have Itachi with the nuking cell and the double stuns. I also don't have even the two the Heavy and Kakashi at 4 stars, so I'm not able to really take advantage of them. So I mostly have AoE and lots of passive buffs.
Right. Okay. So I'm showing this fight for a reason, because Shannon did mention if Sai dies, you pretty much lose the match. So if you are slower, that might be the case. So here in this case, the first round, my Sai actually dies. So I no longer have that chakra buff anywhere else. So I want to just show you guys this fight real quick. And while we're doing this, the reason why Shannon mentioned Sai dying, and I originally had Kid Naruto in that cell before the whole instant jutsu with CM2, right? If I was slower, I 1000% agree with you. I would have Kid Naruto in there protecting Sai like there was no tomorrow. And in my showcase with Kid Naruto, I actually went ahead and did that, and Sai survived 3 Kakashi jutsus in a row without dying. So totally agree. Speed does make a huge difference. So guys, that's one thing to take away with this, is if you're not faster, defense matters quite a bit.
I do have something to say about your testing with KCM.
Sure.
Like, this dude, I have made this joke so many times to my guild, and they still get a crack out of it. Basically, what I was like, you want to know how they made KCM? Bandai was like, how can we make the most broken unit in the game? And they passed around blunts. And they were like, let's just give him every single buff in the game and have it last forever.
Pretty much, absolutely. And that's why I'm testing KCM in here. Because even just not even attacking, his buffs in the beginning are so insane that they make your entire team almost next to impossible to kill, especially if you add people like Hidan or if you add people like Kid Naruto in there to even make it better, right? So I am extremely offensive oriented in my teams. I used to be a lot more AoE oriented, but I learned that AoE sometimes can backfire, so I've actually gone to single target nuking instead, just because you can pick off your opponents properly a little better, because AoE doesn't make the best decision. So definitely, Shannon, very good points. All right, Classy, back to you here. Is there anybody else that you want to put on the spot here that wants to talk about the team, or anyone here that wants me to open up my roster and you guys can build a team for somebody here live? Let me know, and I can more than happily do that for you guys and accommodate.
Yeah, so I definitely think Shannon did a good job with building the team. I guess one thing me and probably some of the other people in the call right now would like to comment on is his claim of Itachi being one of the top 3 units. So if anyone wants to speak on that, feel free to hop in.
Okay, so can I go?
Yeah.
I'm a huge advocator for how Itachi is overrated, because I feel like in my teams I usually prefer to go for turn 2 jutsu and just general people who can start nuking, and I feel like Krim doesn't do as well for me, just because of how he doesn't turn to jutsu. Although his buffs are great, I usually find that other buffers like Mei and May, etc. usually do a bit better for me.
Yes, May since her announcement into this game, May is a better Itachi for sure. I don't even question that whatsoever. May is a better Itachi. The reason why I have Itachi on there, guys, to be quite honest with you, and this is unfortunately the flaw of the game, is in order for me to see luck without having to spend Shino coins, I have to have my top units up there, and Itachi unfortunately is my top unit out of the 3 here that I don't mind having in there. Hence why I'm trying KCM out. So I agree with you there, Static, about May. Itachi has kind of dropped off a little bit in my opinion as well, but definitely still, in my opinion, a force to be reckoned with. But your comment about second turn Jutsu. So talk to me about this guy. So if Sai dies, how much validity do those second turn Jutsus have now? Is this terrible, right? So not all of them, granted, a lot of them will still do really, really well with 5k vitality, but a lot of those units do lose quite a bit of the validity. So talk to me about a unit, guys, that has second turn Jutsu, and as a team builder that you recommend, and if Sai dies, tell me a second turn Jutsu user that you guys would say, okay, you know what, if Sai's not around, don't use him. Is there anybody that comes to mind to you guys?
Well, the current meta, because of what happened with Christmas with Santa and Puppet, like that is the meta, right?
Yeah.
For because Santa has 100% chance to confuse, which is a status effect, and Sorcery on his jutsu has the ability to do. Hold on, let me pull them up. Attack down, DRR down, bunch of other. Okay, there it is. 1 second. Click. Okay. So on Sorcery's jutsu, he does decent numbers, right? 247% to all enemies. He will lower the damage increase of all enemies inflicted with a status effect for the rest of battle, and their damage reduction rate for the rest of battle, and their attack.
Yep.
And this is all to the end of battle. So when this happens with people affected against a status rate, when Santa has 100% chance to confuse, Puppet has 100% chance to do these debuffs.
So let's take Santa out of the equation for a second, because a lot of people don't have him right now, right? A lot of people who are joining don't have Rene Naruto, and they can't use him. A lot of people don't know this, but Heavy Wound is considered a status effect, and a lot of people, it is 100% as well too, right? So let's say you didn't have Rene in there. Can you think of another unit that has, let's say, Heavy Wound or Burn that you recommend pairing with Sorcery that makes him deadly?
So I know a lot of people only use this person because of their tribe, but Sarada UR has a 100% confuse rate, just like Santa. She isn't going to hit as hard. However, the core principle of this will still take effect.
Yep, absolutely.
Mitsuki also has Heavy Wound. What is his? 60%?
It's 100% as well, I believe. I think. I'm pretty sure all Heavy Wounds are 100%. I'll double check though. It's the rare version, so I'm going to him right now.
Yeah. I got him, I think. I'm looking through people, and
yeah, it's 100%.
As far as okay, cool. As far as more status effect for the meta, I'm just scrolling through my units. I'm sorry if you hear my mouse.
That's okay.
I just have to give them a quick look over. I don't really see anyone that has Eno, I guess, has 100%, but that's only on one person, so that's irrelevant.
Yeah, Tamari is another one that has Heavy Wound, which can be applied as well. I believe Papa Sasuke, I think, has also Heavy Wound in his burn. Let me double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure he does. And also, burn is also a really good percentage there. Yeah, he has Heavy Wound built in. And also, burn is a really good one at 60% chance, right? You have SMJ, who's an incredible tank, and other burn characters like Sarada, SR, and so you can use burn as a method. Although it's not 100%, it's still available to you, such as Toby as well too.
Poison, burn. Things like that. Stuns will also work, of course, but they aren't going to have high chances of landing because stuns. But it is just the core principle model of it.
Exactly. All right, guys. So we've got Classy. I think we've got 15 minutes left. What I want to do here, guys, is kind of go over your Discord, and if you can walk us through the channels. If any students want to walk us through the channels as well, Classy, if you want them to talk on your behalf, feel free to do so. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the Discord for those who are looking to join. Tell us what, as a new person joining, should be looking for in your Discord. What are the channels that are available to them, and what you find as the most helpful resources for team building. So I'm going to start off at the top, obviously the welcome, as you can see here. Today, you're getting quite a few people joining here. So good luck with that, guys. I'm out of here after this. So talk to us about what should be going on, where, what are the rules, etc. So walk me through like I'm a brand new student joining.
All right. Does anyone else want to talk before I go? Like, if you want the opportunity to speak up. I'm sure everybody here, or like anyone here who hasn't talked yet, has like ample experience with doing this stuff already.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, want to do it?
Mm-hmm.
You want to walk us through some things?
Yes.
Yeah. So like go through each channel, I guess.
So we'll start off with the rules and info. Nick, if you want to walk us through that, tell us what people should be doing. What should they be clicking on if they're brand new? For example, if I'm a brand new person looking for team building help, do I go to client? Do I go to student? Like, what exactly am I clicking, and what does this do for me?
Rules in the info channel. It's basically just telling you, the rules and like what to do, the assessments, homework. And then if you scroll down, you can see like general like info about how to promote it and stuff.
Okay.
And then if you scroll even more down, the thing to click is like client or students, tell you to what you assign you what you want, so you can all go.
Okay. And so if I want to be a student here, Nick and Classy, so the role's obviously gone here for me, but I can click this as a client. When does this appear for people? When can people become students?
It's automatic.
Oh, it's automatic.
It's just a bot.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So everyone automatically gets it. Perfect. Okay. So jumping on to general chat. So who is allowed? I guess everyone's allowed to have access to this, right?
Yeah. So just before you join, just make sure to read all of that stuff. It's like pretty useful to know before you ask questions about it.
All right. So guys, one rule, obviously, read the rules. Pretty straightforward. They've built them for a reason. So if you do join, do me a favor. Don't embarrass me, first off. And secondly, jump onto here and read all this. This is a reputable and a very established center of expertise. So make sure you follow the rules, guys. Fall in line, and you will get the most knowledge out of it by doing so. All right. Thank you, Classy, for covering that part. All right, general. So what's going on in general here? What can people expect? And is anybody allowed to be on here once they join?
We really try to keep this place as open as possible. So, just don't post any of that not safe for work content or stuff like that. We don't really enforce like rules really on what you're talking about in general, because it's technically for whatever you want. Just make sure you're not posting anything inappropriate, basically.
Okay, perfect.
And we have theory crafting after that. It's basically just a place to discuss ideas, have debate about units and stuff. Like, we do a lot of debates here. They're always friendly. It's never like personal or anything, of course. It's just a good way to learn from each other.
So can clients see this, or is this only for students and above?
Yeah, so everything in that section is available to students only. So you have to get the role first.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. Showdowns. This one's interesting to me because I see the word, and that always makes me wonder what this is all about.
Yeah, so Static, you want to do this one since you're one of the people who made it?
Yeah. So Showdown is a reference to like Smogon's Pokemon Showdown, where we try to enforce making teams without Psy. So basically, we give you a tier based on a tier list that we're currently working on. So, for instance, if we pick that you can only use units that a person has from C tier, then you cannot use units above C tier, but you can use units in D tier. So it's basically just to help people learn more about the bottom tier units, such as Temtem, who I find really underrated, and to learn how to make comps with or without Psy.
Okay.
10
awesome.
low-key S rank.
Sorry, what was the last part?
10 low-key S rank.
She's really good. She's easily one of the best hour characters in the game and is underrated, unfortunately, by a lot of players. So I agree with you guys there. Okay, great. That's actually a cool little concept there. Okay, predictions. Are we talking about predictions for Payne? Are we talking about predictions for banners? Or are we talking about predictions for what teams people are making? So talk about predictions here.
Yeah. One last thing for Showdown. Well, it's new basically, but we want to add some kind of betting feature. So like when some students are duking it out, building teams, we can maybe have some like fake currencies, and you can kind of participate in the Showdown without necessarily building a team, just by voting on who you think has the better team. And for predictions, it's basically just discussion of whatever news or leaks is coming out.
Gotcha.
Kind of generally worded, but yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna bypass bot commands. We don't need to look at that. So let's talk about the classroom itself. Announcements is now. What is the announcements? What exactly are people expecting from here?
Basically, I think for these tabs, the students are not really allowed to type for any of this, but they can see it. It's basically for announcements. It's just whatever the teacher wants to say to the student about something that's happening.
Got it.
We announce promotions here as well. Just everything related to the school.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming that's what this spreadsheet is right here.
Yeah, we have like a spreadsheet of promotions.
Got it. Got it. Really cool, guys. Looks awesome so far. Let's go to assessment. So this is where I'm assuming you assess people's teams.
Well, this is where we post sample, like the actual assessments. Like we post them, and then you submit whatever team you build in a Google form, which is pinned.
Got it. Which is pinned. Okay. So
basically, when you get joining, you can submit a team for assessment, and the teachers will vote on whose bots is chosen, and that is going to be who other students will make their teams from, and they can make whatever kind of team they want for Abyss, for Arena, for ATB, for FG, for whatever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you get a lot of benefits if you rank up.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go to homework. Now this is an infamous one. Nobody likes homework. So what do you guys expect people to do here, and what makes this better than school homework?
It's optional.
Okay, that's always a good sign.
It's also it's not exactly the same as assessments. Like if you look at the most recent one, it's still about team building, but it's not necessarily building the full team. It's maybe just testing specific team concepts and stuff.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Got it. Textbooks. This is interesting. So these are your resources, correct, Classy, that you've collected with the rest of the teachers?
Yeah, we just pretty much post everything here that will help with team building. So
Got it.
Not just stuff we've written, and anything we find from the community.
Perfect. I see a couple things here that I promoted, so glad to see that. Tier list, obviously, I'm assuming the tier list that Binato and you guys are building?
Not necessarily that one. This is actually might be more related to the Showdown. We're kind of making a different version of it for Showdown.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, mission assistance. Ninja Arena, World Tournament, Flashback, Genealogy. I'm assuming, because we only have 7 minutes left here, guys, this is going to be where you guys build teams for specific content, PvP and PvE?
Yeah, so the idea is, we're keeping the Naruto theme. So, like, the different student, like, in Naruto, like the Genin and the Jonin stuff, they all get missions. So we just did that. It's basically just building teams. Just post your stuff in the right place and you'll be good.
Got it. Okay. And the back end stuff, obviously I'm being a Kage here, so thank you for giving me that role right away. The back end, I'm assuming this is stuff that you guys see that have the role to see, right? No students or clients will be seeing this at all? Okay.
Yeah, only staff can see this, and also Jonin can do grading as well if they want to. So we do all our grading in here. And discussion stuff.
Got it. This is really well done, guys. Really well put together. Quickly, while we're here and we have a couple more minutes left, grading. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what is considered a passing grade? What is considered a failing grade? What is the opportunity for someone to come back and get another try or another crack at it? And do you guys repeat the question, or is it brand new questions every single time to keep people on their toes?
We never repeat the question. We also don't have grades. Like we don't have passing or failing grades.
Okay.
So if you go into like rules info and click the how to get promoted document, I think that should show you like kind of what the criteria are to get promoted. That's basically how we grade people, basically. So we'll just judge your team overall. We'll provide feedback. It's very general. It's never like
that.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So this is it's a great document, very easy to read, guys. Only 2 pages for you non-readers. Should be really easy to get through. Okay, and last question for you. So if you were to tell the new people to jump on here and join, what is your mandate? What is your mission? What can people do to take advantage and leverage this? And if people do join, if they like, what's the one thing that you don't want them to do? Like, is it just constantly keep asking how to build a team if they're not learning? Like, what's the biggest faux pas here that you make sure that anyone who joins does not want to do?
We keep things pretty relaxed here.
Okay.
I don't really think there's necessarily something we don't want students to do. Well, obviously, besides like posting weird things in chat and stuff, that's basically it. And then what we want students to do is learn and develop their own team building style and skills. You don't have to like always follow what we're building. You can develop your own ideas, and they can still technically be correct if you do it the right way.
Right. Okay. Last 4 minutes, guys. Any final words here to the folks who are watching? Anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you guys want to promote and get out there?
Yeah. I mean, we also have voice channels, and sometimes we actually do classes, like legitimately through the voice channels, and we do like fun activities and stuff. So, we're trying to really mimic the school experience now that school's online for everybody, or most people.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun. And I guess I'm probably going to start like rebuilding the server a little bit tonight now that we've gotten a lot of new students. So we need to rethink some of the stuff, but it's still a project in progress. I never expected it to get this far, really. It was originally just me and a group of people I was working with, just so we could cover the main core team building channel. But now it's pretty much just like everybody. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Any students, any teachers here that want to add to that, or want to say anything before we end the stream?
Well, we also will use the voice chat for just kicking around, building teams for each other. Maybe doing some arena or the usual stuff you do too. So just doing runs and stuff. Maybe offering help, just kind of that.
Okay, perfect. Well, Classy, I think you've got your hands full now with a couple people joining, and I say a couple loosely. So for those who joined, obviously, please, if you haven't seen the whole stream, go back and watch it. We talked a lot about the rules, about the expectations. It is low-key. It is a fun time. It is also very relaxed. So this is here to specifically help you guys out. So enjoy this service that is being offered, and give these guys a huge shout-out for helping you get better in the game. That's Tribes. My videos are obviously available to you. My own Discord is obviously available to you, but it is a membership Discord, while this is a free one. So if you are okay with joining and learning, this is the place to be for sure. Main Discord obviously is available to you guys as well too. So all those links are in the description. Definitely jump on and join those memberships and join those Discords to get help and get better as a player and be part of the community. That's what this game is all about. All right, guys. Thank you so much again for joining. This has been a pleasure to do with you guys. I hope you guys continue to grow and get better. And from here on in, guys, check out the description, join the school, and have a great time learning about team building. Classy, teachers, gentlemen, ladies, thank you so much again. We'll see you guys at the ATB stream in about a couple minutes. Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Really glad to
It's been fun, man.
get more exposure in the community.
Of course. My pleasure. All right, guys. Again, if you missed the stream, go back and watch it again. It's been great. ATB coming up very soon. Again, team builders, fantastic job. Everyone else, this is Payne. Have a wonderful day.